Temos o Brad Raju, que ele cuida da área rural e da também agricultura. Ele também é do departamento de molhos. E Bob Raju. Então, ele tem também feito programas de culturas e de plantações nas vilas na Índia. Então eles fizeram mais de 1000 programas na Índia sobre o meio ambiente e eles plantaram milhões de árvores desde 1995. E tem Brother Golo, que é que é da Alemanha e agora mora aqui em Gyan Sarovar. Então ele começou todas as coisas a respeito de solar, aquele wind solar, India One, toda planta de toda coisa de solar é ele que ele coordena. Então, Golo e a Sister Jayanti, há 25 anos, eles têm participado dessas conferências. E Brad Raju também faz parte disso através das nossas fazendas de yoga. Então, juntos eles têm 150 anos de Gyan. Então, um aplauso para eles. Juntos eles têm 150 anos de Gyan. Então, ela vai perguntar questões sobre sinais do tempo e esforços para o futuro. Então, algumas perguntas. E se algum de vocês tiver alguma pergunta, escreva num pedaço de papel e a Shona irá mostrar. É tudo sonas, sonjas, é tudo som. Então ela vai ser as perguntas no final. Então depois os painelistas vão ficar ali com a meditação, conduzir a meditação. E depois vai ter ali bençãos. Então esse programa também está aqui, um dos nossos. Então também aquele lá, Green Sabbath Weekend. Então nós estamos dedicando esse programa para o Green Sabbath Weekend. Aquele negócio lá dos israelenses, né? Que Green Sabbath. Sabá é uma palavra lá deles, Israel, que eu não sei o que significa. O que foi? 92. Então, vamos começar com Tem a irmã Supriya que vai fazer a tradução, acho que para o Raju. Então, nós todos somos mudadores, criadores de mudança. Então, qual é a sua especialidade em ser aquele que muda as situações do mundo? Qual as qualidades que vocês acham que é mais são importantes para mudar a qualidade do mundo? Quais as qualidades são necessárias? Om Shanti. Eu estava pensando em até que nível eu sou um mudador das situações. Então, em fato, Baba me enviou de volta para Londres para fazer serviço lá e começar junto com Dadi Janki e também ter o suporte de Madhuban. Eu penso que Baba viu a fé dela. A fé, não fé. Eu não tinha muita fé em mim, mas a fé em Deus. E também fé em Brahma Baba. Mas também fé na visão que Baba mostrou para nós. Baba estava falando, quando nós ouvíamos a Murli Sakar, Baba falava sobre este surpreendente mundo novo que está sendo criado. Então, agora é a Kali Yuga. E eu fiquei muito desapontada quando Kennedy foi assassinado. Não havia mais heróis, então, naquela época. Então, agora, quando leio algumas coisas que vêm na frente dela a respeito do Kennedy, ela vê que ele não foi um herói também. Mas naquela época, ela tinha 14 quando ele foi assassinado. E ela tinha 18 quando veio para Baba. Então, nesse Thank you.
बचपन की उम्र में
fortunate from my childhood.
इसकर आगे अच्छा कारण बाबा की आज जब अपार्टमेंट की सेवा तो दादा
I got it. Come close. I don't have the knowledge. I do have the knowledge.
और उन्हें
Consciousness, current are the one. I am just
सहयोगी पहले पिक्चर का
transform aspect of it, environment.
तो वो
Thank you. बोलो
Que esse mundo velho não está bom. Alguma coisa estava muito ruim nesse mundo. Então, em 85, ele veio a Madhuban.
And then Adikuma, okay, Palace. And I thought, okay, done this. I didn't about it, and came to me, go look, you can Palace.
Que liberta nossas mentes é que nós iremos criar o novo mundo e que a mente controla tudo ao nosso redor. Então a mente é a responsável pelo tempo, pelo espaço e tudo. E isto me dá muito entusiasmo e me liberta, e depois de 40 anos me dá esse sentimento de liberdade e me mantém me movendo. Então quando vem na minha mente, quando você fala em especialidade, mas eu também sou muito prático em fazer as coisas. Então foi um bom começo pessoal. Mas se vocês olharem pelo mundo, hoje tem muita guerra, conflitos, a inflação, o
The pandemic.
ainda está ao redor de nós, e as mudanças climáticas têm criado eventos extremos no globo. Então, qual deseja a gente, o que você
Powerful. And I'm
falava muito mais sobre o recentemente você fala menos e menos sobre o final. Então, eu estou curiosa para saber o que você pensa no momento atual. Eu pensei que a destruição ia acontecer em 1966, e quando em 76, então eu era rendida, e quando eu voltei para Londres, eu disse para o meu irmão Locke que você não precisa estudar medicina porque não vai dar tempo para terminar, e ela falou para todos os amigos delas essas coisas. Então o 76 passou e continuou. O serviço começou em Londres, e o centro cresceu, a idade veio, e tudo isso. Então eu disse, então foi bom que não aconteceu em 76. Então eu comecei a pensar que idade Kumar começou a dizer 2000, é isto. Então essa tornou o próximo foco da atenção dela. E quando 2000 passou e também nós estamos aqui, então continuando a cuidar do nosso centro, então
So nobody would call me the doomsday lady after that. Before that they used that term. And what I thought is that, well, if Baba's not giving us a time and date, and the Dadis aren't giving us a time and date anymore, I don't have any time and date. So let me just do the best that I can. But when I see tradition in Europe, especially at the present time, and I'm thinking about the war, I'm thinking whether in England they have a new slogan, eat or eat. And this is not just for homeless people, but this is for normal people who thought that their life was going to be sort of comfortable. And things have changed dramatically in the last 6 years. And so now, Third World War seems to be very, very close. And maybe it's not going to happen the next few months. I don't know, it may, I could be wrong, but very close. And so for me, the preparation has to be that I try to keep a link with Baba continually so that I can Baba's signal, and whatever else I make is fine. But to keep that link with Baba so that then I'm open to receive whatever it is Baba wants to do. That's the most important.
Thank you so much. If Radio or Golubai like to comment this question, welcome.
से जयंती बहन जी के अनुभव के साथ साथ मेरा भी यही अनुभव रहा है कि बाबा ने पहले से विनाश की डेट जो दिया, उसी के आधार से हम लोग समर्पित हुए.
Experience of Jayanti Bhan, I also have the same experience. I got surrendered date of destruction.
लेकिन वर्तमान समय को देखते हुए ऐसे लग रहा है जो बाबा ने उस समय कहा था वो सबसे सामने.
However, at the present time we are all seen.
और उसके लिए केवल एक तैयारी ये है कि बुद्धि का विस्तार सार में सब, तो बहुत सारे सेवाओं का विस्तार तो बाबा करा रहा है, लेकिन मेरी बुद्धि कहीं भी प्रश्नों में, तेरे मेरे में, हिसाब किताब में ज़्यादा बिजी ना हो जाए, बाबा की टचिंग को मैं कैच कर सकूं।
So
ये
there is
attention है।
a lot of expansion, but for my intellect, not to go into that expansion, but go into that essence. There is a lot of mind and I-ness, go beyond all of that and to
मेरा अटेंशन इतना रहता है कि बुद्धि इतनी क्लीन रहे, जो बाबा को कराना है वो कराए, मैं उसका अच्छा राइट इंस्ट्रूमेंट बन के रहूँ।
So my duty, my intellect, the right student.
तो वही लक्ष्य रख करके पुरुषार्थ चलता है।
So my effort is with this aim.
Follow.
Well, starting the solar years ago, 25, 30 years, really because of destruction, because I thought Baba's institution should have some solar, some batteries, and have some backup when time of power cut is coming, shortage of fuel is coming. And since 4 years, every year, I buy 2 drums of petrol and 2 drums of diesel, keep it here as a stock, then slowly we use. And now these things are happening in front of our eyes. Germany, I just read yesterday that the grid utility is preparing for large-scale power cuts, which never ever happened before. And they tell people you have to save 30% of the gas, otherwise we have to switch it off certain time. So it's getting quite dramatic. And our retreat places in Germany, we just finished. This summer, I just bought a wooden heater, a big one, and we installed it, and we just installed a 20 kilowatt solar system there. So the place is independent, our center also. So all these things are in place, and I was very keen and very focused to get all this done. And now things are happening, and I decided 2 things. I started to read less news because it's so dramatic, so devastating what's happening around the world. And I tried to become very detached and very loving, detached from the world and the situation, detached also from my own sanskars or whatever weakness, whatever is there. I'm very loving for the self, for others, and also for the world, because I feel that's a course of direction we all should have, come seeing the present scenario.
So thanks for sharing your personal efforts. But then what's the effort? Your department, the rural wing, how is the rural agency? How do we prepare the whole family for this? Okay, Raju, start.
आज के दिन की मैं 2 खुशखबरी आपको सुनाता हूँ।
I would like to share 2 good news today.
आज बाबा की जितनी अव्यक्त मुरलियाँ 69 से 2017 तक चली, उन सब के 1320 एपिसोड पूरे हुए, रिकॉर्ड।
13,200 episodes are recorded all from 1909 till 2017. 13,100 are अव्यक्त
संपन्न किया, आज पहला काम पूरा हुआ। और दूसरा, बाबा के यज्ञ में शुद्ध पवित्र ऑर्गेनिक सब्जियां आए, उसके लिए आज ही हमने 18 एकड़ ज़मीन में आलू की बुआई शुरू किया। आलू अपने घर के लिए यौगिक खेती की तैयार हों, पूरे घर में 3 कम्प्लेक्स में। उसकी शुरुआत मैं सवेरे 9 बजे करके आया, बुआई आज चल रही है 18 एकड़।
So another good news is that in order to grow pure and organic vegetables, so in 18 acres of land, this morning they started sowing the seed of potatoes for the yagya. in 18 acres of land, and just they started this, showing them this morning.
आप सबको निमंत्रण है। हमारे शिवमणि होम के पास हॉस्पिटल की ज़मीन है। ज़मीन में जंगल हो गया था, 15 साल से वो ली हुई थी। उसको हमने साफ करवाया, ठीक करवाया और उसमें कई लाख की खाद डाली और की आज ही तैयार हुई है और आज बुआ मशीन से आलू बोई जा रही।
So this is a land where you are all invited to visit. It's near Shivmani Home, down in the Abu Road, the land of the hospital where it was not being used for a long time. And so they made the land so that they can use it, and they put organic cow dung fertilizers in it. And the land is prepared, and they started sowing today with the machine.
एक ऐसा लगता है कि बाबा अंतिम समय की तैयारी करा रहा है।
I feel today that Baba is making the preparations for the final time.
भी बाबा के बच्चे आए, कम से कम आलू पूरी मिले, सब्जी रोटी मिले, तैयारी।
So the preparation is that whoever Baba's children come, let them get potato and puri, so that they get something to eat and go with the potatoes.
When we were having discussions, and the discussions in London a long time ago, and even for the year 2000, there were many discussions, much preparation. So we've had different times at different periods, intense focus on this external preparation. And at this point of time, I think, well, who do you prepare for? Global House is in such a community that just people living inside that building number about 12 people, but every day we get a few hundred people come, weekend, several hundreds to come. And we know that in the end time, not just Baba's children who are Brahmins, but Baba's children are all God's children. And we're right in the middle of a very big residential complex with many people who are very needy. And so if they come to our door, of course we're going to feed them. Can we possibly cater for? We have no idea. It's an emergency that's going to last for a day or a month, or everything will finish very fast and go home together. Don't know. So then we just, okay, we'll do something external. But I know that the most important preparation is the inner work. And the preparation work, we've spoken about remembering Baba, we've spoken about creating a good stage, that awareness of Baba's teachings. But there's a very important thing, and that is harmony of our senses together. Whenever there's a difficult time, then generally speaking, people have experienced, Kali Yuga at least, that the worst sanskars. In an emergency, yes, there'll be a few benevolence, but also you'll get with ego, the people first to take everything and want to take everything for themselves or their own Lokik group, whoever that may be. So you see the best and the worst in a sense. And in Baba's home, you see both also. You see how souls that have dealt with their sanskars, those sanskars are like jumping out, they're exploding. And on you see souls making deep, incognito effort. You see both. But I think the big message for the present, that whatever service Baba wants us to do, it has to be with a preparation. And for the future also, it's not survival, it'll perish, but to be able to demonstrate what is God's love. That I think is a big challenge. When we have created harm, then that's what the world will see. And then they'll say, yes, it must be God who. So I'm very aware of the need unity.
Thank you. It came in the Morley the other day, wasn't it? That everything Golden Age operates on the basis of. I'll put this question first to you. Have a comment, you're welcome. But I experience that this world, our world is being more and more polarized in various groups. So it's conflict, violent conflict between religions, between political parties, fragmentation, increasing and splitting the society, extreme groups. So how do we protect ourselves and also our yagya from being influenced by nationalism, racism, etc.? I remember when 9/11 happened and Ajit Janka was so strong, never take sides. But today, you know, it's so easy to take side. One politician seems so good and one seems so bad, but you know, how to protect myself and the yagya from. And maybe soul consciousness is the answer to everything, but I wonder if you like to say a few words on that.
Well, I also like to. There are now maybe 5 solar systems. We have around 5,000 meditations. It's a very big drive now. All the centers go eco-friendly, so they put solar photovoltaic. And we assist many centers, guide them. We also promote solar lanterns, solar cooking box, and many centers have adopted that and taken that technology. And here in Yagya, the situation is also quite okay. We can run Shantivan, Pandapavan, and Sarovar in emergency modus on solar energy. Outside there will be no electricity, for example. I remember one time we have been to Copenhagen, and then Mohini Ben told Baba that we are in Copenhagen for the climate conference, and Baba said solar is very good. Baba gave a message, solar is very good, and there will be darkness outside and you will have light. That was a blessing Bab Dada gave, and it's a good news I like to share. Coming to Sonia's question, how to protect, we can see that karma has accumulated in a quite massive way around us. And theoretically, we all know it's a bad karma around us and we have to protect ourselves. And a week ago, I wanted to know a bit more about the conflict going on in Europe right now, the war. And I looked up a history channel about the history of Russia. It was quite interesting. It started in the 700 with some riders and some little bit war and some clashes. And then from that time onwards, there was every 20 years major war and the land changed the hands. Then Genghis Khan came with a golden horde, then the Polish came, then Kiev became big and went against Moscow, then Moscow became big and went against Kiev. Then it was Chechen war in the 18th century, then there was war with Turkey 5 times. And I thought, so much war, every 20 years a major war, people were suffering, hunger. It was a real catastrophe in my heart. Suddenly could feel this lot of karma which has been, and I realized all of us individual, but also in families, regions, towns, states, is a lot of karma has been accumulated, and the karma is so thick now, so strong, that the urn going to break, and it's all spilling out. And Sonia asked how to protect ourselves. I always believe in powerful meditation, and made it my habit to go evening and trying to still trying 30 years, reach the bodiless stage and experience myself as an angel, light around myself and clear my personal aura, get strong. Because I believe when my aura is strong and my personal karma is being settled, nothing hurts me. Of course, what is also required is that we don't go into many fractions of the old world. In summer, I was doing a lot of service, but then I thought I should have some 3 weeks of fun. So I took my motorbike and I made a tour in the Alps. And of course, I made some programs here and there. But I saw the mountains dying. It all became brown. There was no rain. The whole Alps are literally dying. And all these little rivers which come down from the mountain, they were all dry. And it was so devastating that I decided that's enough. The old world is dying. And I go back, when I go back in summer, I go sell my motorcycle, and I decided to stop any of these kind of things. So that's also part of the time, my personal reaction to myself, to protect myself, and really I'm loving and
Sister Gyanti, how to protect the yagya from nationalism, racism, taking sides?
I think the first step has to be protect myself from being pulled in either direction. And yes, I always remember the message that Daddy gave for 2010-11, 9/11. And it was, don't take sides. Just be able to have yoga for both sides. And so that's been a very powerful imprint in my own heart, that neither side is perfect, neither side is blameless. There's problems on side. And so with nationalism, Brahma Baba never allowed anyone to vote election. And that again is a big story for me, because I remember those days. I remember people asking Baba, there were elections and people would come to Baba, say, should we be voting? And Baba would say, who is right? Who are you going to vote for? And so I'm a little bit surprised. Very heated discussion about politics, that one side is right and the other side is wrong. But I'm also surprised that things like that can bring family, and that this family has many views, many different sons. And Baba will never say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Baba will find something and say, you are right, you're also right. And again, I'm remembering something that Bridgemont said a few years ago in an NCCC meeting. He said, right is right, but wrong is also right. Got it? It sounds very odd. Wrong is also right, but it's true. Wrong can also be right according to Brahma. And so when I understand some things, then I make sure that I don't take. There's no side that has all answers. Only Baba has all the answers. And if I get pulled in one direction or the other direction, I'm moving away from the one up above. I have to make sure I don't go here, I don't go there, I stay with Baba. And then, if I do this for myself, then whoever it is I'm with, I can do the same for them. Or if I'm asked in a situation like this, that it's not, because at the end of Yug, don't know what's going on. You really don't. That is. And so let's stay focused on Baba's task, and help share that message to whoever, and each one's destiny, fortune, their own.
Thank you. Would you like to say anything on this, Rajubai?
का यज्ञ है, शक है.
It's yajna, and Baba is the protector of the yajna.
वो बाबा ने स्थान पर बिठाया है यज्ञ की रक्षा के लिए.
Wherever we are, for the protection of this yajna, I keep it in mind too.
एक तो यहाँ पर हमारा संगठन, उसको हम उन्नति के प्रति समय प्रसमय कुछ न कुछ नया।
In this gathering for the self-progress, we have to something new, some newness.
हमने एक ऐसा संगठन शांतिवन में यूं का बनाया, कहीं पर कोई भी बात है उसकी चर्चा नहीं करना है, लेकिन उसके लिए विशेष योग करना है।
We have created a gathering in Shantivan, a gathering of brothers, and no matter whatever is happening outside, we are not talking, discussing about it, but we are doing for that.
उस ग्रुप में कोई भी व्यर्थ बातें नहीं करेगा और चिंतन नहीं करेगा। ग्रुप में ऐड होना तो ऐसा ग्रुप तैयार किया।
So it is a group such that in that group no one will be talking anything, no wasteful talk.
और हफ्ते में 4 दिन तो योग के लिए अलग अलग प्रोग्राम दिए। 1 घंटे का शाम का योग अलग अलग स्थानों पर वो करते हैं।
So in a week, once in a week, they will gather together in different places and do yoga for 1 hour.
जैसे आज सतगुरुवार के दिन तपोवन में योगी खेती पर 1 घंटे का योग चल रहा है।
So today on Thursday, Sadguruvar, yogic farming in Tapovan, they are doing yoga for 1 hour.
एक दिन हमने जो हीलिंग गार्डन अभी आरोग्य वन के नाम से आलू की बुआई की है, शनिवार को वहाँ पर 1 घंटे का योग करते हैं।
So on Saturdays in the healing garden where they started sowing these potatoes, on Saturdays they do yoga there for 1 hour.
और शांतिवन में विशेष सोमवार के दिन शाम को 6:30 से 8 मैं उसमें खुद शामिल होता हूँ और उसमें 1 घंटे बिल्कुल साइलेंट। पहले आने के समय टाइम फिक्स होता है, उसके बाद दरवाज़ा बंद और 1 घंटे कोई हिलेगा नहीं। ऐसा पावरफुल योग तो बाबा कहता है कि मधुबन एक लाइट हाउस, यहाँ की किरणें चारों तरफ जाती हैं और वही किरणें शिक्षा का कवच हैं।
Every Monday they gather together in Shantivan and they do powerful yoga from 6:30 to Rajubai himself joins those sessions of yoga, and they, as a lighthouse, they spread light into the world, like Baba is giving protection and is protecting the world.
और शुक्रवार के दिन संडे की मुरली विशेष पेपर लेते हैं। हर एक स्टूडेंट जो भी हमारे करीब 100 के ऊपर भाई सब पेपर देते हैं, हम प्राइज भी देते हैं। तो एक बहुत सुंदर पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग का ग्रुप अगर हमारा तैयार होता है तो किसी भी विघ्न को हम पार करने सहयोग देते हैं।
So on Fridays they have a group where they give a paper test on the Avyakta Murli of Sunday. So Sundays Avyakta Murli, there is a test paper on Fridays where a group of 100 of them join and do it. So it's a good positive thinking group that's being created.
और लक्ष्य यही है कि जितना हम श्रेष्ठ सकारात्मक विचारों में रहते हैं वो हमारे लिए सुरक्षा कवच है। और बाबा की छत्र छाया के नीचे हम हैं, इसलिए बाबा की याद के सिवाय और कोई भी व्यर्थ चिंतन पर चिंतन कोई न करे, इस पर हम भी ध्यान देते हैं और दूसरों को भी यही इशारा करते हैं कि आपको कुछ कहना है तो आप लिख के दो, लेकिन बातें नहीं करो।
So to have elevated positive thinking and that canopy of protection for us. So not to go into any wasteful matters and just focus on having elevated positive thinking.
एक जानकी दादी जी की बात सुनाता हूँ। अभी जयंती बहन जी कह रहे थे कि गलत भी सही है, सही तो सही है ही। उस पर जानकी दादी जी का एक बहुत सुंदर चिंतन और हमारे साथ जब शेयर करती थी तो एक बार मैंने कुछ पत्र ऐसे आए थे मधुबन के किसी भाई के लिए, बहुत उल्टा समाचार था। मैंने दादी को बोला, दादी इसको सजा देनी चाहिए, इसको यहाँ से निकाल देना चाहिए।
On this matter of Dadi Janki, you say that what is right, but what is wrong is also right. On this, Brother Raju is sharing his experience with Dadi Janki. There is a letter from someone, and the letter, whatever is written in that, based on it, Brother Raju said that whoever did this, they should get punishment.
दादी ने बड़े अच्छे शब्दों में हमें कहा कि अगर वो इस वातावरण में परिवर्तन नहीं हो सकता है और आपकी शुभ भावनाओं से बदल नहीं सकता, तो बाहर जा कर के क्या वो सुधर जाएगा? वो तो और बिगड़ जाएगा। इसलिए यहाँ ही उसके प्रति शुभ भावना रखो, उसको अपने श्रेष्ठ संकल्प की शक्ति का दान करो, वो यहीं चेंज हो जाए, बाहर कहाँ दुनिया में जाके और बिगड़ जाए। ये बहुत बड़ी उनकी बड़े दिल की भावना थी।
So
Thank
that
you.
is Daddy Janki's answer for that question is that if he is unable to transform, change himself with a good environment, and if he goes outside, how will he change? Not able to change with our good vision here, how will he change if he go outside? So it was such a big heart of Daddy Janki that as he just keep giving good vision to that particular soul.
तो ये संगठन जो इतना बड़ा हुआ है, निर्विघ्न चल रहा है, उसके पीछे दादियों का सोच, उनके चिंतन, उनकी शुभ भावनाएं बहुत रही हैं।
Whatever happens in the gathering, Dadis always had that pure and good wishes.
Thank you. And I hear you saying the same thing, that protection for ourselves and protection for the Yagya is powerful remembrance and good wishes. So that's wonderful to hear you saying the same thing. But I have a question for you now, Sister Janti, that one BK shared with me the other day that she thought at this time of the Kalpa we would be all sitting in Tapasya. So she is surprised that we're still so busy doing service. And it wasn't criticism or anything, she was just surprised or wondering how time will happen. But she asked me, how do you see the 15 years of tapasya at the beginning of the confluence age repeating at the end? Because Baba sometimes says, as in the beginning, so in the end. So they all had 15 years of tapasya, and will we also get that? How do you see it?
Let me first talk about those years of tapasya. We had 2 years of COVID, and a lot of people did do tapasya in that period of time. But of course, a lot of people also got more busy in service. I know that I would conduct 4 classes a day on Zoom because there were just so many requests coming in from everywhere. So I think that drama is going to make it happen, that communications in that way can't just carry on infinitely. There is a limited time to that space. But while we can, I think it's also our responsibility to share Baba's message. I'm looking at India, and India has done huge service wherever I've been going in the last couple of weeks. And there's been several places. They're in touch with governors of that state, ministers, to the people to us. We don't go to them, they come to us. Media comes to us, they come to us wherever it is we are. So huge amount of services, both on the level but also on just the message spreading. But of course, still, many. Yes, we've heard of Brahma Kumaris, but we don't know what they're actually saying. And so they don't know God yet. And I think that this is the double duty that Baba has given us. One, to reach our own karmati stage, but also that before the end, everybody does have Baba's message and has made his choice of what it is they want to do. God, do they want mukti? Fine, Baba's happy to give them mukti. Or do they want to take mukti? And Baba's offering them this also. So while there's a possibility of doing, I think to continue service, and then drama will. We won't have all gadgets and devices, because in times of emergency, the first thing that governments do is switch off the network. They don't want people to communicate with you. And so I think that there is going to come when we won't be able to run around and do service. It'll then be just oneself. But today, Baba's, I can't say I'm not going to get involved in service. I think it's an obligation that I have to Baba, that yes, this is what
you think it will be a conscious choice by other people if they want mukti or jivan mukti?
I think so, because if you offer some people Jivan Mukti, they'll say, I just want above and stay up above. And so they don't know that at some point in the cycle they'll have to go back. But they'll make that choice for Mukti. And then Jivan Mukti, we've made a choice that yes, we want to have a life of liberation. So I think the people also will say, I don't just want to stay up there, here. And we know that in a short space of time, people can do so much service. Again, it's you amazing people and so many Zoom babies are just abroad and babies here. Some of them service that they've been.
Talking about service and traveling around, we are going to Egypt now in 10 days, and Christianity is not coming this year, but Ravagolo will be there. Maureen from London is coming also, and Valeria and Caroline, Shantanu, we've been going for many years. So each nation will be there. It will be about 20,000-30,000 people. So Golo, what shall we share with the delegates at COP this year? Means Conference of Parties is the UN Conference on Climate Change.
Yeah, I just got my visa for Egypt, so now I slowly get the energy of going there. And it's always a balance which we have to keep when we go to these conferences. I remember my first climate conference was in Copenhagen, 2000. And I remember we had a little stand and all was a bit hodgepodge, various brochures, various things, and we were all there in white. And then the people came, the delegates came to us and said, what are you funny yogis doing here at the climate conference? And they told us, and we said, we are the good people. They said, no, we just take some money, some strategy, and we take technology, and we fix climate problem. No issue at all. Now, after 12, 15 years, the people come to us and they say, please teach us peace of mind, because we're so frustrated, because we lost hope. And today, Baba in the Murli said, don't be scared of death. So it's a very very big gap we have to bridge. On one side, we know that destruction is going to come and we should be fearless of death. And on the other side, we deal with people which try to save planet Earth, but slowly realizing that it's not going to be, most likely we're not going to fix the problem. So the level of anxiety here and confusion at conferences is also increasing. You can see that also at the diverging and confusing statements of the government. Sometimes they say, yes, we will do this, and we will save, increase to solar, increase renewable energy, wind power, and this and that. And now because of the war, so many of these goals have been scrapped. And all the money which was supposed to go into energy transition towards a clean technology is going now into the war, or to protect the economies from these price shocks which are happening. So there's a lot of frustration and people are really confused. And for us, it's a very, very delicate balance. Baba always says, feel the pulse, people. So we are always talking about the principle, change yourself. If you change consciousness, thoughts, change your action, and then things will become better. And we're we're almost like diplomats. And then if people come to us and they say, yeah, come on, now tell us a little bit more, then we little bit give more progressively, step by step. And of course, Baba says the biggest service, so we're trying to talk to people and give Gyan as much as possible. But on the other side, sometimes Gyan or words don't help, because people are really emotionally quite messed. Sometimes people are in tears also. And then, of course, We have to open our heart. We have to read. And we have to share emotions, passion with. And Baba says the biggest service you can do is the service of your mind, Mansa Seva. And the biggest service you can do is share love with the people, give them compassion. And this is what we're doing also to some extent, that we have a smiling face in the middle of disaster, and we project happiness and a bright future. And people actually catch, and they can feel this atmosphere, and they're attracted to it. And meanwhile, Brahma Kumaris is like a little highlight at the climate conference. When we are at some programs, then they say, okay, and what's the Brahma Kumaris saying to that? And meanwhile, people ask us to do meditation, conduct meditations. So slowly, our true role is being seen, being recognized, and it's very wonderful to see over 15 years, slowly, how Baba's vision and what Baba told us, that at the end people will invite you and they will give you the platform for the conference and all. It's very wonderful to see that slowly. So every year in the climate conference, it's a new step, it's a new magic, it's a new wonder. And sometimes I tell to Jayanti and to Sonia, drama, that the climate conference is there because I could learn so much and I could share so much, and it's a wonderful platform. About 2,000, 5,000 people from the press are there. Each and everybody is there. It's a wonderful platform for Baba's children to share knowledge and to.
Thank you. And actually, Sister Jent, you might not know, but there is something called Cryosphere Pavilion, which is a very scientific pavilion about melting of the ice and melting of the permafrost. And we got an invitation to submit a side event, but we decided to submit pure meditation for the culture evening, and it got accepted. So first time we have a pure meditation event in COP, in the most scientific pavilion. So that's nice. But still, sometimes I get the question, why do you care for the environment when the end time, the collapse is around the corner? I actually got this question only a few days ago, and I was surprised a little bit that people still have this question. So Rajubai, why do we still care about the environment if anyway everything will kind of finish soon?
सबके सामने आने वाली दुनिया का नक्शा स्पष्ट है। हम इस दुनिया के लिए नहीं सोच रहे हैं, आने वाली दुनिया के लिए सोच रहे हैं।
All have the map of the new in front of us. We are not world right now, but we are looking at.
क्योंकि ये दुनिया तो जानी ही, तो बाबा ने स्पष्ट बताया है, तो साइंस भी मान रही है।
World has to go, and Papa has told us time before. Even science to understand.
जब हमने योगिक खेती का प्रोजेक्ट तैयार किया था 2007 में, तो उस किताब के ऊपर एक नाम दिया था, नए युग के लिए नई खेती। हम इतनी बड़ी आबादी को योगिक ऑर्गेनिक खेती से पालना नहीं सकेंगे।
Have started yogic farming. The book with title Form for the New.
ये जो भी हमारी पर्यावरण की बातें चलती हैं, वृक्षारोपण करा रहे हैं या हम पर्यावरण सुरक्षा के लिए कर रहे हैं, हम प्रकृति को साथ दे, योगदान दे रहे हैं। तो इस प्रकृति ने हम सबकी इतने समय से पालना की है, उसको हम निगलेक्ट नहीं कर सकते। उसको अपने शांति के, पवित्रता के प्रकंपन देते हैं, जिससे वो कम से कम हम सबकी सुरक्षा करे। और जो परिवर्तन करना है वो तो उसको करना ही है, उसको रोक नहीं सकता कोई भी। रामा ही नहीं रोकेगा, भगवान भी नहीं रोकेगा। लेकिन हमारा कर्तव्य है उस प्रकृति के तत्वों को इतनी शांति के वाइब्रेशन दिए जाएं ताकि वो परिवर्तन, अपना रूप परिवर्तन कर सके, तमोगुण समाप्त हो, तमोगुण बने। उस लक्ष्य से हम पर्यावरण करते हैं।
When we are talking about protecting the environment, we have been planting for a long time, and the most important thing is to give the vibrations peace to the environment, and these vibrations of peace is to protect the environment.
जैसे अभी लोग बाबा ने हम सबको कहा है कि प्रकृति के पांचों तत्वों को आप दान दो। योगदान देने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो अपना कार्य रोक देगी, अपना कार्य जल्दी करके फिर नई दुनिया बनाने में ये जितने भी तत्व जो भी करने जा रहे हैं वो सब नई दुनिया की स्थापना।
So the work the five elements are doing right now is for creating the new world. So whatever we are doing is we are just good vibration, peaceful vibrations to the environment, to the nature, and that is what is going to protect.
अगर ये जलवायु में परिवर्तन नहीं होगा तो नई दुनिया में जो बाबा कहते हैं प्रकृति एक ही बैलेंस से हर समय एक बाहरी मौसम होगी, वो नहीं हो सकेगी। इसलिए जो इस समय अति हो रही है उसको हम देखते हुए भी समझ रहे हैं कि ये अंत की निशानी है और उसके बाद जो नई दुनिया आएगी प्रकृति साथ देगी। इसलिए उसको हम बहुत स्नेह से योगदान देते हैं, परिवर्तन के लिए और शक्तिशाली किरणें देते हैं। वो बदलेगी तो विश्व बदल जाएगा। इसलिए हम पर्यावरण की सेवा करते हैं, नई दुनिया के लिए नए प्रकृति के साधन सुविधाएं हर आत्मा को प्राप्त हों, क्योंकि आत्मा के पतित बनने से प्रकृति पतित, हम पावन बनेंगे तो प्रकृति हमें साथ देगी।
Right now, the environment is not giving us the cooperation because we are going towards the degradation. But as we go, as we become elevated, as we start giving and protecting the environment, then that environment will also give. Just as we see the weather, climate in the golden age, very pleasant, not give sorrow or suffering to anyone. At this time, our pure positive vibrations will help in that climate change.
Thank you very much. Now, yes, Sister Gyan like to comment.
Little bit connected with what Rajubai is saying, but also the whole process of Sangam Yuga is for the transformation of my own sanskars. And the situation today is that we've lost respect for ourselves, and so there's a big identity crisis in the world. We've lost respect for people, and so the racism and all of those things have come. We've lost respect for law, and so there's more and more lawlessness, disorder, and we've lost respect for all other forms of life, violence against other creatures, but we've also lost respect for nature. And so what Baba's teaching is to be able to develop that of respect outside also, so that the nature also again treated with respect. Nature deserves that respect. Very violent, aggressive and exploited, but nature with her since Satyug. So now to restore that partnership, we have to now offer respect to nature.
Thank you. I often think of Mother Earth as an old lady in the old people's home. And when the old ladies get very old, you just don't leave them. You feed them spoon by spoon, and you turn them over and look after them really well. So being a nurse, that works very well for me. And maybe you answered next question already, Sister Gyan, but if you like to add something else or anyone else, you're welcome. About how to make harmony with the environment, a kind of co-living with the environment in the midst of climate change and health problems. Anything you like to add? Co-living with the environment?
Just thinking about how much am I still taking from nature, and still all take a lot. And so maybe preparation for the end time, but also preparation for partnership with nature, is to reduce my live more and simply, so that then I'm not exploiting any further, but now I'm recognizing that nature has given a lot, but now it really has to be reduced, starting with me.
In the Brahma Kumaris Environment Initiative on our webpage, we have a couple of interesting initiatives. For example, one is a plastic-free yagi. So we go plastic-free, and I think London has done big efforts in the last years. For example, when we give tolis, it's very nice if they're not packed in plastic. So we're trying to sharpen the awareness within the institution for this relation. We also have a travel offset because many of us are traveling a lot, and traveling is one of the big producers of carbon emission. And sometimes that's a bit of a conundrum we are in. So we have a travel offset mechanism. You can donate some money that goes for some tree plantation or for some solar plates, like 1% of the ticket price. And it's also what the professional platforms are offering, travel offset. And we thought we should do that for the Brahma Kumaris. So we have that mechanism there, and you will find all the details on our webpage. We're trying to do very practical steps to offer to the centers. We also have guidelines for the centers about waste management, energy management, and all these kind of things where we can sort of live more in harmony with nature and protect. So we're very practical and so on. It's almost like a green policy. You might know that all the big companies and all the big institutions in the world nowadays, they have a green policy, and they have an environmental advisor also, which sort of looks into activities, scrutinizes. So we're trying a bit to the same thing in the Yagya. Alas, it's not easy because we have so many centers and we have very diverse institutions. Centers, more or less, to some extent. But go to our webpage and find a lot of initiatives and ideas.
So if you have any questions, I just remind you, you can write them on a piece of paper and give it to Shona. And otherwise, I will just continue. So I just have one question now about yogic farming. How does actually meditation affect the elements, the seeds? How does it actually entail work? And how can this lead to global transformation?
जो हमारा ये प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हुआ, उसमें हमारा एक लक्ष्य है कि जो सूक्ष्म जीवाणु धरती माँ के पास हैं, उनको उसकी शक्ति को बचाया जाए.
So the aim of the yogic farming is to protect and save the earth.
क्योंकि बहुत सारे ऐसे सूक्ष्म जीवाणु हैं जिस पर अगर हम यूरिया या इंग्लिश दवाइयाँ डालते हैं, खाद डालते हैं, तो वो सहज मर जाते हैं, समाप्त हो जाते हैं.
So there are microorganisms in the soil, and when they put urea and other chemicals and pesticides, they die.
तो पहले हम किसानों को कहते हैं कि आप पहले धरती माँ से माफ़ी मांगो, मेरे से भूल हुई है, स्वार्थ के कारण, अधिक अनाज लेने के कारण, पैसे के कारण मैं आपको जहर अब नहीं डालेंगे.
First, we ask the farmers to ask forgiveness to Mother Earth that we have put all these chemicals and pesticides and have killed the microorganisms in the soil. Ask the forgiveness to the earth.
लेकिन धरती में इतनी अधिक मात्रा में लोगों ने इंग्लिश दवाइयाँ, खादें डाल दी हैं, तो अभी उससे पैदावार बिल्कुल नहीं किसानों की.
So now they have put so many pesticides and chemicals and fertilizers in the soil that they are not able to eat now.
तो दो तरह से हमने प्रोजेक्ट को लिया. एक तरफ हम ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन को बढ़ाने के लिए देसी गाय के गोबर और गौमूत्र का प्रयोग कराया.
So we have adopted. One is in order to increase the level of organic carbon, we have been using the cow dung and the cow urine.
और साथ साथ हमारी भावनाएं, हमारे विचार, उस पर प्रकृति कैसे ग्रहण करती है, हम जिस भावना से जाते हैं उसके पास वो हमारे विचारों को बहुत सहज समझती है, इसके हमने प्रयोग कराए।
So we have been experimenting on how our feelings and our thoughts are affecting the nature, the environment.
पहले हमने गुजरात में दांतीवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी में साइंटिस्ट के सहयोग से 5 साल की रिसर्च करवाई, पौधों पर हमारे विचारों का बीज से लेकर के क्या क्या प्रभाव पड़ता है।
Datiwada University for 5 years have done a research on how our thoughts will affect the plants.
उसके बाद हमने उत्तराखंड में, हमारी एक बहन है साइंटिस्ट, उन्होंने बच्चों से उस पर यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर ही गमलों पर बीज संस्कार करके, बीज पर योग के प्रयोग करके, की बुआई करके उसकी रिजल्ट दिखाई।
In Uttarakhand, with the help of a child, they experimented on sowing the seeds in the soil, and how experimenting yoga on sowing the, like yoga when this,
और
how that does that affect.
इसकी हमने फिर प्रैक्टिकल में अपने किसान जो बीके हैं, जो विशेष योग अभ्यास करते हैं, उनकी फील्ड पर कई प्रकार के अनुभव प्रयोग करवाए।
So on this, the BK farmers who have been doing yoga, they actually experimented and the effect of.
शुरुआत कैसे हुई इसकी विधि मैं आपको बताता हूँ। हमारे पास यहाँ ट्रेनिंग इसी की हम दे रहे थे शांतिवन में, तो एक माता यहाँ से सुन के गई, हमारे वाइब्रेशंस, हमारे विचार पेड़ पौधे बहुत जल्दी सुनते हैं, समझते हैं। ये बात तो जगदीश चंद्र बोस ने, साइंटिस्ट ने सीखी है, लेकिन जब यहाँ बताया गया तो उसने अपने घर में जाके एक पेड़ पर प्रयोग किया।
So in Shantivan, when there was a training that was held, they were talking about how we can talk and the trees, they can understand our language. And that mother, she went back home and she experimented on that.
उसके घर में एक चीकू का पेड़ था और उसमें फूल आते थे लेकिन फल नहीं लगते थे।
So the mother wanted to experiment on a sapota tree that she had at home. And it was not giving fruits, it was just giving flowers.
तो सबने कहा कि घर वालों ने कि इस पेड़ को काट दो, इससे फल तो मिलते ही नहीं है, इसलिए इसको खत्म कर दो यहाँ से।
Everyone wanted to cut off the tree because it was not giving any fruit.
तो वो माता यहाँ से सुन के गई थी, तो उसने कहा कि 1 साल के लिए मुझे छुट्टी दो, इसको काटेंगे नहीं, उसको बहुत प्यार से हम उससे बातें करेंगे।
So the mother requested not to cut the tree because she had heard in the training, that she wanted to talk and those good thoughts to that tree and see for 1 year.
तो रोज करीब 15 मिनट उस पेड़ के आगे खड़े होके और यही बात करती थी, देखो आपको काटने की प्लानिंग हो रही है, अब काट देंगे आपको, आपसे हमें फल चाहिए, केवल फूल नहीं चाहिए, और अगर आप फल देंगे तो आपको हम कटने नहीं देंगे, आपकी सुरक्षा इसी में ही है। बातें किया उसे बहुत स्नेह से।
So every day for 15 minutes she would sit near the tree and she would talk with love. She is saying that everyone wants to cut you, but I want that you give fruit so that they talk with, give the love to the.
और उसको पानी देती गई बीच बीच, पानी की जरूरत, और कोई खाद नहीं दिया, केवल पानी दिया और अपने शुभ भावनाएं दी।
She didn't give any fertilizer, but she was just giving the tree the water and the good wishes.
उसके बाद उसमें बहुत बड़े बड़े चीकू के फल लगना शुरू।
And the result is that huge fruits of sapota came from as a yield from the tree.
तो सबने सोचा कि इसको कलम लगाई गई, क्या हुआ? उसने कहा कोई भी हमने खाद नहीं डाली, कोई कलम नहीं लगाई, केवल शुभ भावनाएं, बहुत स्नेह दिया, इस पेड़ से बहुत प्यार से बातें की और उसकी रिजल्ट आज वो हमें फल दे रहा।
So everyone was surprised, how did that tree start giving the fruits? And everyone asked, like, did you manure, fertilizer, what did you do? But then the thing she did was just talk to that tree, love and vibration.
और उसके बाद कई प्रोजेक्ट इस पर चालू हुए। उसने फिर धान की खेती पर प्रयोग किए, गन्ने की खेती पर प्रयोग किए और कई सब्जियों पर प्रयोग किए, और प्रयोग के बाद ये बात फैलती गई और आज भारत में हजारों किसान यौगिक खेती कर रहे हैं, जो कोई भी प्रकार की फर्टिलाइजर नहीं डालते हैं, ऑर्गेनिक चीज़ें अगर उसमें कमी है, धरती को चाहिए कुछ तो देते हैं और उस
So-
पर योग के प्रयोग अमृत वेले से करते हैं.
So now this mother, she got that fruits from the tree, so she started experimenting it in the crops, in crops and in the crops of different vegetables, and the word got spread, and now it spread so much, like in thousands of people are practicing this organic farming where they're not putting
thank
any
you.
chemicals in it.
Thank you so much for explaining in detail about the tree. Do you have a tree you talk to, Rajubai also?
Yes.
We have
वो
one.
बहन भी यहीं है, शांतिवन में रखा, उसका
Yeah,
प्रयोग करा रही है.
yeah. It's in Shantivan, the tree.
नहीं,
Yeah.
नहीं, शांतिवन में सिस्टर है
Uh,
जिसने प्रयोग किया.
So the sister who experimented on this tree is now in Shantivan.
So we have one wish to Rural Wing, Rajubai, that is that you continue with the research with the university, because that's very useful for us in the UN conference. So we really hope you will continue the research.
ये हमारे 2 प्रोजेक्ट हैं. एक है बच्चों के लिए सिलेबस तैयार करना, और उस सिलेबस के लिए हमारे उदयपुर यूनिवर्सिटी ने टाइम दिया है और वो सिलेबस तैयार हो रहा है. हम बच्चों के को ये ट्रेनिंग देना चाहते हैं कि योग के द्वारा कैसे खेती की जा सकती है.
Thank you.
So
तो
we
उसका
are,
सिलेबस तैयार हो गया है. उदयपुर यूनिवर्सिटी और उत्तराखंड यूनिवर्सिटी ने अपने हाथ में लिया है, और फिर ये दांतीवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी के वाइस चांसलर ने कहा है आप फिर से हमारे पास रिसर्च करो, कोई नई रिसर्च करो. प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है.
so in Udaipur University and Uttarakhand University, they have created a syllabus for the children on how to do the yogic farming, how to give vibrations. And even on Dantewada University, they are working on preparing this.
So that's our wish for yogic farming. It's been very useful in our UN service. Now I have one final question to Jenti and Golo, and then I have 2 questions from the audience. So that's our wish to Rural Wing. Well, how do you see the green initiative evolving in the future? What's your wish we should be doing, or any service or any project or anything you like from us in the future?
I think the speed with which the Brahmin family actually take up this project, not just in terms of service, but really as a method to be able to help in the establishment of Satyug, I think that speed is going to determine how quickly everyone, because I think that if people understand that this is actually a process of transformation of our relation with each other and with nature, I think they'll engage with it more. Hope is that then the Brahmin family really take it seriously and follow up with. That's one thought. And the other thought is that my hope is that whatever happens within the environment is again something that captures the attention of young people everywhere, because I think that they need to understand spirituality very specific point. They're not ready yet maybe to sit and meditate, but if they begin to understand this is support nature, their future, they might.
Yeah, my hope and wish for the environmental initiative, especially at the UN service, is that there comes a moment where we can reveal Baba at these conferences. And you have to imagine in Glasgow in the last conference, I think there were 100 head of states or something like that. So the whole world is coming there, everybody's there, and at the moment we're a small incognito group. My wish is that the time will come we can reveal Baba there, and people will realize. That is my wish for the climate conference. And in general, I hope that the environmental initiative can raise the awareness of everybody who comes in touch with us, that our mind creates the environment around us. And the world and the situation of the world is a mirror. of our collective thought process and emotions. And if people become aware of that relation, they then become careful about their thoughts, about their emotion, what they think, and they will try to become better people. And I hope that environmental initiative can play a role for the BKs, also to become more aware about this connection, but also for the people outside.
Thank you. So we have one wish here to the rural wing, that you will make a compilation from the Murlis on environment points. So it's a Murli environment compilation. That's one wish to Murli department. And Golo, you touched on introducing Baba in this kind of service, and one question was actually about that, how can we include in each activity of BK Baba's introduction, as it is not the time to go into expansion. So you want to add anything on that, Sister Gyanti or Golo?
Baba's introduction is coming in an interesting way in my experience, and that is people know that lifestyle changes, but they don't have the capacity to do it. And so then, so often in sustainable living, I've been asked this question: how do you manage to sustain transformation? And we talk about Baba in that there has to be time for silence, meditation, power from the divine, and that power is helping you sustain that transformation. So it's happening, and it will happen.
Thank you. And one wish to the RCs, that you would give more attention towards the green policy on the RC level. It's also here. So many wishes. It's coming close to Diwali time, I suppose. It's time for good wishes. Now, one final question from the audience is to you, Sister Gyanti, how to discern which rules of this world we have to follow and which not. You mentioned about voting, and because to be good citizens, we have to fulfill the rules and responsibilities of the world, but which one to follow and which one not to follow?
I think within the voting system, there can also be conscientious abstention. And so my conscience does not allow me to vote. I'm sure that there can be that law also, because most of the world is free society. There are some parts of the world where it's dictatorship, but wherever there is a free society, there's always that abstention. So I think follow all the laws of the world, otherwise we'll get ourselves. And so it's not that I choose, I'll follow this law and I won't follow this law, but we have to follow all the laws of the world. That's also part of the respect that Baba's teaching. Respect for myself, but also respecting the laws of the country, live in, the land. And so it's no choice.
Thank you. And thank you to all of you for participating. And we're coming towards the end. And I'll just give the opportunity for you to say whatever you like to say as a last comment, short and sweet. And maybe you also like to share what you will focus on in the meditation to come. So, who would like to go first? Madhuban?
अगर योग के अंदर कोई लक्ष्य लेके बैठते हैं तो बहुत अच्छा वातावरण बनता है.
Aim, when we sit in yoga, then there will be environment created.
और दो लक्ष्य, अगर हम 10-10 मिनट के लिए भी 15 मिनट के लिए एक लक्ष्य लें, 15 मिनट के लिए दूसरा, तो मैंने देखा है कि बहुत अच्छा एक ही संकल्प से वायुमंडल बनता है.
Can aim for at least for 10 to 15, one aim and 10 to 15 another aim, then there will be a full environment that's created by having it.
बाबा ने एक बार कहा था कि जब आप ब्राह्मण बच्चे संगठित रूप में एक संकल्प में स्थित हो जाए तो वो एक संकल्प विश्व परिवर्तन.
Papa has once said that when we Brahmins are concentrate on one particular thought, then that particular thought, the world transformation happen.
योग में हम जैसे पहले बात करते भी हम आधा घंटे, तो पहले संकल्प में अगर हम एक लाइट माइट स्वरूप एक चैतन्य आत्मा इस योग की जो यथार्थ स्टेज है शरीर और आत्मा का अलग अनुभव होना.
So when we sit in yoga, are focused on light and might that we spread from the center of the foot.
और फिर हम अपने संकल्पों से बाबा का जैसे आवाहन करते हैं और बाबा के निराकार स्वरूप पर भी अपने आप को एकाग्र करते हैं. और बीच में अगर ब्रह्मा बाबा भी बीच में हैं तो उनके द्वारा जैसे और से बाबा से किरणें शक्तियाँ ले सकते.
Concentrated on one particular thought, and then we connect with Baba and of course Baba, and we are taking space from that and focus.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I think the time is coming up, so which one thought will you focus on? One thought, one sentence.
केवल अपने प्रकृति में चमकते हुए बिंदु रूप आत्मा को देखो, अनुभव करो और इस शरीर से बिल्कुल अलग मैं एक चैतन्य शक्ति हूँ. इसका अभ्यास.
So just focus on the light, the sparkling, shining soul in the center of the forehead, and you are practicing being separate from this body.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Golo, your last.
My last is my first. Yeah, we Brahmins should be aware that we are the foundation. And the situation in the world, the destruction and the creation is a mirror of our own thought process. And if we create a sparkling, bright consciousness, focusing on the light, focusing on creation, focusing on a beautiful new world, and we keep that in our, we're slowly nudging matter and the situation in that direction. So we have an incredible power. We're all creators. And once we're aware about that, we become constant in that thought, the transformation will happen. So let us all sit in meditation and have this unified thought of all of us in love and harmony, powerful thoughts and vision towards a bright, wonderful future world.
At one point, Baba had said to us, set aside at least 5 minutes every day for Mansa Seva. This was many years ago, and maybe now we do it for longer, but certainly I would add, let there be a few minutes set aside for Mansa Seva of all the elements, so that we are purifying nature for our own future world. And yes, when Sonia asked the question about what thought to meditate, it's interesting because my 2 brothers have shared about light, had the same thought. Just focus on sending God's light. And yes, the soul is also light, but especially send God's light to all the Om Shanti.
Oh, Om Shanti, and a big thanks to our panelists. Thank you so much.
And to Sonia for the excellent questions that she came up with, and to all of you.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll have meditation now. So I don't know if you want to stretch your legs or we just go straight into meditation or straight into meditation. Okay. So let's go towards the light. Afterwards we come up for Toli and blessing. Yeah.
जब ऐसा प्रिय जीवन होगा, यहाँ हमारा तन होगा, वहाँ हमारा मन होगा। जहाँ होता है मानव का धन, वहीं होता है उसका मन। इसलिए परमात्मा ने बताया, मुझसे लगा लो अपना मन। हम सा नहीं कोई जमाने में, रचना रचता का ज्ञान जिसे, पर ऐसा भी बनना होगा, नहीं कभी अभिमान जिसे। यहाँ हमारा तन होगा, वहाँ हमारा मन होगा। ये दुनिया तो मायावी है, माया से भला कैसी यारी। अपने तो दो ही ठिकाने हैं, वैकुंठ दुनिया निराकारी। धुंधला सा अंधियारा है, दीपक से उजियारा होगा। ये आँख भी तन का दीपक है, ये ज्ञान जीवन दीपक होगा। यहाँ हमारा तन होगा, वहाँ हमारा मन होगा। अरे शिव की याद रहेगी तब, आँखों में समाया वो होगा। हम धन्य तभी बन पाएंगे, जब ऐसा प्रिय जीवन होगा। यहाँ हमारा तन होगा, वहाँ हमारा मन होगा।
So, Om Shanti. And I just want to say thank you to Sister Sona also for arranging the double form program so nicely. So big thanks to Sona. And from Shoba and the team. Yes. Petra. Yeah. And Dar. Mm. So now from Sister Janti, you will have a Toli and a echo blessing. And from Brother Raju, he will give you information leaflet on yogic farming. And from Goloba, you will have our echo initiative leaflet and yogis for future. So just 1 second and we organize it. So those who are going to Madhuban first, please allow them to come first so they catch the bus.
If you're from Madhuban, could you just make your way to the bus, please? They're just waiting for the last few passengers. I know you're enjoying the atmosphere, but the bus will also go. Om Shanti.
तेरी
चिंता फिकर तुम्हें सौंप कर, सब चिंता फिकर देह दुनिया से हम हो गए बेखबर। खिवैया मेरी नैया तेरे हवाले, तेरे हवाले। चले हम उधर ले चले तुम जिधर, देह दुनिया से हम हो गए बेखबर। खिवैया मेरी नैया तेरे हवाले, तेरे हवाले। तुम्हें सौंप कर सब चिंता फिकर देह दुनिया से हम हो गए बेखबर। सोचूं भी क्या सोचने से भी पहले बन जाते काम मेरे करने से पहले। ओ सोचूं भी क्या सोचने से भी पहले बन जाते काम मेरे करने से पहले, बन जाते काम मेरे करने से पहले। ऐ खुदा दोस्त तारीफ क्या मैं करूं, ऐ खुदा दोस्त तारीफ क्या मैं करूं। ये सब है तेरी खूबियों का असर। खिवैया मेरी नैया
सब ज्ञान सरोवर निवासी सेवाधारी लाइट साउंड डिपार्टमेंट के प्लीज आइए।